Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Haven't streamed in a while, so if you guys can tell me if my mic volume is okay and music volume is pretty good, that'd be awesome. Mic is quite loud. Okay, thanks. Let me bump it up. Okay, how about now? How's the volume for the mic? Should be good. I think the levels look pretty good now, so let me know. Hey guys, Kyle. I will also try to talk loudly. Yeah, man, been a while, I know. But it's okay. I'm back. So, yeah, someone asked, what's the display, reference display? This is, it's called Pure Ref. You just Google it, you'll find it. It's a cool program. I'm just getting used to it. I actually just got it today, so it was shared to me by a good friend of mine, so. And you can move around, rotate, zoom, all kinds of cool stuff. Man, yeah, I love this program. I mean, I like literally got it like 30 minutes ago. I was using a different app called, what was it called? Quadro, Quadro, but I like this one more. So, yeah, so Ray's done. I mean, I'm not super happy with Ray. So I did a sculpt of Ray like a year ago. And yeah, I still want to tweak it, but I want to jump onto this girl because I haven't done something in a long time. So I haven't done a character in a while. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm just gonna loosen up here and get going. ask any questions that you might have, and I'm just gonna start sculpting. So. So I actually have, man, okay. So for context, Soul Assassin was watching me stream a different bust of mine. I'll pull it up real fast so you guys can see it. So this is my Ray bust. Not 100% happy with her likeness. She has a really interesting face shape. But so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish her off stream and hopefully pull her likeness a little bit closer. And then on stream, I'll be working on Jin. So that's about it. Yeah, Danny's stream was great. Actually, it was up really early this morning to catch it. So yeah. She has a really tiny nose. Really tiny nose. Tiny nose, pointy chin, long neck. She looks different as usual. You'll find that people look different in every single photograph that you find of them, which is kind of what makes likenesses so hard to do. So you kind of follow one piece of reference, you go down that trail, and then you find something else find a different piece of reference that that sort of contradicts maybe some of the shapes that you think that that are there. So yeah, so I'm like brand new to the stream. I used to stream on Twitch about a year ago, but I've been sort of on 3D vacation, so I haven't really done much for a while, but I'm really excited to start sculpting again. So I haven't done a sculpture in a long time. What's up, Chewy? Uh, to be honest, I've been remodeling my house. That's about it. It's taken me like a year. So I haven't been doing much online. Been working on some projects, but yeah, is it? I can reduce the opacity. Let's see, I have a little thing here. Let me lower that opacity. Oh. Maybe just make it smaller too. Alright. Let's go with that one. I don't really do much. On the left side of the screen, so yeah. Whoa, what happened? So yeah, yeah, been off the grid, man. You know, been trying to stay fresh, but real life can take over sometimes a little bit. I think I saw someone say, am I going to be printing this one? And yes, definitely. No, I don't have my Cintiq anymore. I sold it for now. I might get a different one. I sold a lot of stuff when I moved. So I back to the old tablet right now. So I will be a little bit more rusty on the Wacom tablet. So oh yeah, where am I from? So I live in California. I live in a small city called Davis. It's kind of outside of Sacramento. I used to live in Los Angeles where I was working professionally for a while. Yeah, I have my Intuos 3 still. Serves me well right now. Serves me well right now. Yeah. The definitely ergonomics play a huge issue, I think, with Cintiqs. It really does change your posture a lot, and you have to be kind of careful because you do hunch over more. Actually, I have a stand-up desk. It's like a manual up and down, and I find sculpting on the Cintiq while standing is a lot more comfortable and pretty ergonomic compared to sitting down. So my ref is actually on the left side of the screen, uh, and on the stream it's on the right. So you guys see me looking left and right, or left a lot. It's because of the my ref's on this side. Not thinking like, what's he looking at? Yeah, I've yet to try any VR sculpting. Um, I I really want to try it though. I think it looks really fun. Um, so I guess the real question is, do I think good 2D drawing skills are required to do 3D modeling? No, I don't think so at all. It can help, but I don't think it's required. Um, as it really depends on like a personal, on your personal goals, I guess. For me, like my 2D drawing skills are pretty pathetic, and um, I can see areas in my sculpting that if I was a better 2D artist, it would help improve my 3D sculpting for sure. But I do feel like they are completely two different mediums. So uh, both artistic, both artistic processes are doing kind of the same thing of basically just training your eye to see and spot shapes and stuff like that. So um, I don't really see I don't really see a requirement there, uh, but I feel like it's definitely good to have. So um, doing life drawing and stuff I haven't done in ages. Definitely something that I want to get back and do. Um, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you sculpt, and um, if you're doing a lot of people, um, uh, you kind of will always end up starting to look at people and see things that uh, shapes that start recognizing different shapes, and Um, that all goes towards the same skill set of just being better at recognizing shapes from lighting information. So, definitely. Where did I learn modeling? No, I went to school for 3D modeling about 10 years ago. Well, more than that, I guess. 2004, 2003, 2004. Um, basically right when ZBrush came out, and and that's where I sort of started getting my training. But that was just when they had Maya. Really, they weren't really training ZBrush at the time. So traditionally, just trained doing hand modeling, poly modeling. Um, and oh yeah, I think I caught like only a little bit of what he said. Um, I just but so I don't know. I don't think it's that interesting, but maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, definitely career-wise, it's been a pretty cool adventure for sure. Um, oh, he told it. Okay. What's up, Danny? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have story time. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I have I have a very, how do I say? I don't want to sound like egotistical, I guess. I just want to say that I do have a very big, not a very big, not that big, but just I have a pretty good, well-rounded studio list of places that I've worked at. Very fortunate to be a part of a lot of those awesome teams. Um, and yeah, good resume. I have a resume that I'm very proud of. That's how I'll phrase it. Um, the last place I worked at, like in studio, was DreamWorks Animation. That was a while ago now, actually. Where I was working on How to Train Your Dragon 2, um, and this other movie that they did called Home. That was sort of the last big movie thing that I did. And then since then, I left the studio. I started a company, which is a Mold 3D, which offers like some pretty cool classes. And subsequently, I parted ways with the company as well, just because I relocated up to here in Davis, and then uh, it was really hard to sort of focus on my art and do a company thing at the same time. So I didn't want to really restrict it. So I left that company. I do freelance occasionally for this studio called The Mill, and they're in LA. Do some mostly commercials. Nice. Yeah, I have a pretty good photo with Dean. He's a really cool guy. Really, really nice guy, actually. Um, I've been working in ZBrush. God, how long? I don't know. Um, what year was it that I started? I guess ZBrush I started in 2009. I want to say 2009-ish. It was when I started uh, ZBrushing like full on, and um, I was using before that. I was actually mainly using another sculpting software that shall not be named, uh, pretty much as like my main tool set, and that's because I started using digital sculpting tools when I was at Weta Digital in 2006, and they were using for production stuff another program, so that's sort of what I got used to. Um, yeah, that's when I first tried ZBrush. Is back when it came out. Um, I didn't really start using it. I don't consider like that period was like when I used it a lot. But hey, I didn't say that. I did not say that. So anyway, yeah, I used it for production only, and so that's why I used it at home. I was just comfortable in it. But now I just use ZBrush. Mainly, the main reason why I use ZBrush is because everything that I sculpt now is for 3D print. Um, so everything that I do, pretty much, I don't think I've made anything in ZBrush that's not for 3D print in the past like 3 or 4 years at this point. So um, that's kind of the, I mean, other than the obvious, it's like a really awesome piece of software, but um, 3D printing is basically what I do now. So um, come on, can't get this overlap. I kind of took down my website recently, but if you guys want to look at stuff that I've done, you can go to ArtStation slash Polysculpture. Um, I think that's it. Oh, it's not slash. Oh, it's slash Robert, artist Robert. I just used my first name. There you go. So that's where I just kind of image dump everything. But oh, what did I work on? Well, that was ages ago, but I worked on Avatar as a modeler. I was mainly doing environmental stuff then. That was like a big transition period uh, for me as an artist. Actually, that's when I sort of made the decision to go full on and do character stuff. So I started doing drawing classes, and just sculpting a lot at home. I used to go home and sculpt every single night after work. Um, so that was like training time for me, really. I wish I could get a clear shot of this girl's ears. There we go. So she has her ears. You can see how her skull eclipses where her ears attach. So you got to sink those guys in. And she has pointy ears too. And they go right above her eyebrows. I just posted it all. Uh, Thanks, man. Have a good day. What made me want to be an artist? Well, I mean, I guess before I wanted to be an artist, I didn't know I wanted to be an artist. I guess I knew I wanted to work on movies. Excuse me. I wanted to work on movies, and that was kind of the and there's a few key movies that made me want to do that, and they're like 90s movies. Jurassic Park being obviously a big one for me. That hit like right when I was in, I don't know, I must have been in middle school or something like that. Yeah, probably middle school. Um, and then I got like a computer and I started doing like Photoshop and like drawing in Photoshop and stuff. I went digital like really early. I took the digital like painting and modeling like really young. Um, just kind of happened that way, I guess. But so Starship Troopers was another big one that kind of made me want to do like film. Um, yeah, really. Uh, Obviously, like games too. I mean, there's a lot of games that were very inspirational for me as well. Like I think Half-Life was like a big one. Um, Half-Life was a big one for me in terms of like just good storytelling and you know interesting like at the time it was really cool graphics too. It was like groundbreaking stuff. Half-Life 2 as well. Dude, honestly, I don't think there's any anatomy guides that have helped me in the way that, um, like, I'm by no means an expert in anatomy. And the only thing that has gotten me better is just doing it over and over again. So, um, like, it's really about repetition and and being really hard on yourself. And I gotta say, actually, my wife too. She's been like, so she was an artist in college until she switched majors, and so she has like a really good artistic eye, and so she gives me like some of the most like brutal feedback um, that I've ever gotten. So constant good feedback is key, um, and being really honest with like what you see. Uh, and I don't know, like whenever I make stuff, I'm never really 100% happy with it when it's all said and done. So, um, I so I'm always getting better, like trying to get better, always trying to get better. So, um, it's and just kind of doing it over and over and over again, I guess. I don't know. Like there's some things that you kind of just know how to do well, and then there's some things that you'll always struggle with. And like it's about working on your weaknesses a lot, and it's about identifying your weaknesses too. Um, it's been a while since I sculpted it in here. I have to like look at what it looks like again. Trying to go a little higher. Geometry. Yeah, I have all the usual suspects when it comes to like art books and figurines and things like that. Um, but I think nothing has improved me more than failure, constant failure. Um, and I don't think about it as like failure as in like you didn't complete like the thing you're working on. It's more like getting to a point where like you can't stand what you're working on anymore and you have to move on. And and then on your next piece, you try not to make the same mistakes as you made on your first piece or the piece that you did before. And then little by little, you improve. So, yeah, I guess I don't really work on full time anymore. I have another little project that I'm working on right now. And but yeah, I don't really work for anybody, I guess right now. Kind of I call it being like semi-retired, I guess, but I'm not really retired. How many heads have I sculpted? Oh man, um, probably not that many, to be honest. Probably no more than 50, I would say. I used to do when I was working at Sony Computer Entertainment America. I think they changed their name, and I'm not sure, but they're down in San Diego, California. Um, I used to do a lot of heads, and a lot of it was scan data. So I was working with a lot of scan data, but sometimes we would do like uh, scan data, and then like you'd stylize it or something. Um, I did a lot of clothing um, for games for PS. I guess it was PlayStation 3 games, um, and PlayStation 3 games. Um, I literally forget what yours look like. I haven't done one in probably like a year. Quick little Google search. All right, there you go. I always make these really deep too. Carve this stuff in. Yeah, so I freelance once in a while when the work comes in, and when I'm not, I'm just working on my own stuff really, um, kind of low key. Gotta get the headphone hole. Headphone hole. Move this down. I need to get a good picture of her ear. Everyone has different ears, and you really got to look at the shapes of their ears. It's a pretty, it's not detrimental, but it's a good. Um, Sometimes an ear can really help define a person's likeness. So because the how far they stick out of their head and the shape that the ear is does change how they look. So. And some people have earlobes that like connect, uh, or some of them cut under. I know there's a term for it. I can't remember it right now. Do you use auto retopo from ZBrush or do you use 3D Coat? I don't really. Yeah, if I have to retopo, Um, I just auto retopo. I don't really do topology anymore. Um, yeah, usually just automatic. Honestly, I only retopo if I have to. I don't do it that much anymore. For production stuff, I do. If I'm retopoing like for production work, I'll use Maya. Um, for any of that stuff. But when I 3D print things, I don't really need to worry about topology. So um, kind of it's kind of like a nice freedom because from like my entire career, all I did is care about good topology, um, and now I don't have to care about it anymore. So how big do I normally print my work? I guess typical size is between 5 and 8 inches. I guess is like a normal size for me. Um, yeah, it's pretty normal size for me. Is that yeah, pretty much Dynamesh everything and 3D print it. Um, uh, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I used to do topology for everything. Um, all production models that I ever worked on was like meticulously done. So I talked to the Pixelogic guys. I said I would do an hour for my streams, and I just said that because I don't really know my schedule, other than like I can plan for 1 hour at a time. But if you guys are interested in sticking around, I plan on going for maybe. I kind of want to do maybe another hour sculpting on this character, so um, I'll be here for a bit. Maybe do a 2 hour today, and then yeah, hopefully next month I'll be able to increase my streaming time uh, to be a little longer, and maybe even a little bit more um, uh, directed, actually. So she has a very strong jaw. Cool. So using the form 2. Yeah. No, to be honest, I'm always on the lookout, but um, to me, the Form 2 has just been such a good machine. Um, I I don't really have any interest in finding something different. Anything short of one of those companies sending me a printer to try out, I have like no interest in checking out. Um, Checking out the competition. I think like the other yeah, I mean yeah, the Form 2 is like a crazy workhorse. The other month I printed I actually yeah, what month is it? Uh April. I think it was April. March or April. I printed every single day for like 30 days straight. 8 hours a day. No, 8 hours, like 16 hours a day. On this project. So um, I know it's funny. I barely know what day it is, to be honest. I've been really deep in my home renovation that's been going on. That's kind of like why I disappeared for a while, and just keeping track of the days is really hard to do. So yeah. I wish there was a better word for retired, because I feel like the word retired means I don't like do this stuff anymore, but I just don't work for a company anymore. Um, and so like I just kind of do my own thing. But I don't know. Self-employed. Yeah, I guess that might imply that I was actually making money. How about self-unemployed? uh, they're very similar. Man, the working on movies are interesting because of their timeline. Um, and games. Uh, so I mean, both. Let me think about this. Okay, so self-entertained. I like that one. Um, all right, so okay, I would say that they're not drastically different. I think the biggest difference is more of a culture, cultural difference between the two. Um, I find that the people working in film are like a little bit more. I felt like the most of the people that I worked with when I was in film were older people, and by older, like I was in my like young 20s, early 20s to mid 20s, and a lot of the people in film were uh like mid 30s, 40s, 50s. And I find like when I went to a lot of the gamer studios, it was kind of the inverse. Like a lot of the leads were older, but um, the um, the majority of people that I was around were pretty young. Um, so you get like a kind of a different environment. You know, so that was like the first thing I noticed because I went right into film. So as soon as I started my first job, I was at Tippett Studio. I was 19. That was in 2003 or 4, 2004. I was 19. I started my first job at Tippett Studio working on a kind of like a little project, like a pet project of Phil Tippett's, um, doing like modeling for Starship Troopers 2. And and so I was doing like a little bit of aliens and some character work and stuff. So um, and everyone there around me was pretty senior in terms of age, at least compared to me when I was like 19. So um, and then after that, wait for the Form 3. I would not wait for a Form 3. Monday, I don't know what it is, to be honest. I think it's a post-print curing chamber. That's what the rumor mill is saying. Um, but we'll see. But I wouldn't hold out for a Form 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a like a Form 2 like refresh of some sort, like but like a Form 2 plus type thing. But I would not expect that um, anytime soon. You're gonna be waiting for several years before a actual Form 3 comes out. That's fine. I think Yeah, I had a Form 1. It's Form 1 and a Form 2 are like two completely different uh, things. Like it's so far beyond like what a Form 2 um, or a Form 1 was, um, that I can't even like compare them, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't even feel like the Form 2 deserves a sequel name like 2, um, because of the difference in uh, technologies. Like it's just, I don't know, completely different. Yeah. And it's not always about like, it's kind of like the megapixel issue with like digital cameras. It's not always just about like how high resolution something can print. Because if you look at the specs, sometimes like compare the Form 1 and the Form, or like, oh, sorry, Form 2 plus um like other printing people or companies or what have you. Um, Form 1 is not like the highest resolution one, because with the resin technologies, there's a lot of trade-offs when it comes to like more resolution versus like print speed versus like build volume and stuff. So if you want to print large, it's really hard to do a printer um, that is that can print large and as detailed. So you're kind of always fighting a lot of forces. So, well, Let's see here. Do you do test prints as you work, or you just print them when you consider done? Dude, I do test prints. You know, 3D printing is actually really interesting because like you you can sculpt something in ZBrush or like you model something and it looks completely different printed out, like really different. And so like especially when it comes to people and stuff, I think you have to do. It's not really a test print. You're just sort of printing to see like how far off you are from like the actual likeness. If you're printing creatures and stuff, I guess a lot more give. She has a crazy bottom lip. Uh, yeah, sorry. How do you not lose focus on your pure ref image board when sculpting monos? Oh, if you right click on it, you go to mode and then say always on top. Control Shift A, and then it stays there. For sure. Yeah, the perspective thing is like I always toggle back and forth when I'm trying to line up proportions. Um, Gotta turn off perspective, but then when I gotta check like if you can see when you look at the model from straight on, you want to be able to see like how the face like eclipses and changes as it rolls past like the eyes to the cheeks to the ears. Because I feel like orthographic flattens it too much. Um, yeah, I find that when you 3D print characters, it's usually like it's too like narrow, I guess. But I don't know, just something about it, I guess. I don't think I've like figured out like one super secret yet. Um, nice. Yeah, Revenge of the Fifth. That's good. Yeah, the mouth area is to me it's really about getting the overlapping uh it's about getting overlapping of the mouth and the upper lip and the bottom lip. It's like going from the side view. Um, getting getting the angle right. So like you get a nice like angle here, and then also making sure the corners of the mouth is pulled back far. Um, and then big one is like getting that like lip area tucked back, and then the side of the face kind of like overtakes the corner. I mean, everyone's like a little different, but you can kind of like apply some of these like generic principles to the lips. So like her filtrum is smaller than mine, so I think my mouth is too low. Her name is Jin Urso from the Star Wars. I can't remember the actress name right now. Felicity Jones is her name. That's right. This is the longest I've sat at my computer for a long time. Definitely puts a toll on my shoulders again. Wow. Um, Not sure if I have a preference. Alright, I think I have a good answer to that. Because they're both so different that um, they both kind of have like a different like culture to them. So I enjoy working on games, but I much prefer the I would say like the excitement that's built around working on movies, if that makes sense. Like I think a good like description of that is, at least like with my family, I could tell them like what game I'm working on, and they'd be like, "Cool," and then, or like, you meet some stranger and you told them like what games you worked on, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like I don't know, I don't have that console, or like I don't play games or whatever. But when you tell people like what movie you worked on, I feel like you get a lot more like wow factor from that, and that kind of makes you feel pretty good. Because when people like ask you what you do, there's nothing worse than you tell them and they're like, "Oh, cool," and like they have no idea like what you're talking about. So being able to tell someone you worked on like a really cool movie, like even How to Train Your Dragon 2, like, which is not even like one of the biggest animated films. Like you could tell that to a total stranger and they would be like, "Oh, cool, like my kids love that movie." And so there's automatically like something there. Um, but there's something about like when you tell people like that, um, that you worked on a game, they'd be like, "Oh, okay. I don't have a PlayStation." So, uh, but the environment though, I much prefer working in a game environment. Well, it's not happiness. It's just like when you're out there talking to other people and like you're talking about and interacting with people not in your industry, it's really hard to relate to people who don't know, like, even have a clue what you're talking about. So it's already bad enough that we use like software like ZBrush, and like a lot of strangers don't have like the faintest clue what that means. So that's just like one element to it. So the prestige of working in a on a movie, I think, is more exciting than working on a movie is more exciting than a game. But um, I don't know. That's just me. But I prefer working on games. I also enjoy the fact that you get to do more in a game environment. Um, you get to do more because of the you get production on a film is so like spread out between a lot of different groups of people and stuff, so you get to be more well-rounded. Uh, yeah, exactly. Like I could put it in. Well, I worked on The Last of Us, so that was like one of the games that I worked on. I worked on when I was at Microsoft. I worked on uh, shit. What was the name of that game? I'll think of it in a minute. It's been a while. Um, I worked on SOCOM 4 PlayStation game. Uh, Infamous like 2 or 3 or something like that. Um, I don't know. Actually, so I did a bust of Sherlock from like Benedict Cumberbatch, and this is when I was living in LA, and I printed him out, and my friend was out to dinner one night, and he saw Benedict Cumberbatch at like dinner, and like as he was leaving, he's like, "Hey, like I'm a big fan of your acting or whatever." I don't know. He was talking to him, and he's like, "My friend did a 3D print and a sculpture of you," and so Benedict Cumberbatch, like my friend pulled the picture of the sculpt up on the phone. He like he's like said it was really effing cool, and that's about it. uh, Last of Us credit, no. Avatar, the movie that, or Hellboy. I worked on Hellboy. That's probably like my most favorite movie I worked on is the first Hellboy movie with Guillermo del Toro. Um, Hold on, let me close my door. Okay, so in Hellboy, that was like my first like big film. I did a lot of props. I did an environment um, for it. The very last like boss battle or whatever you call it, like when he was fighting the serpent thing. I did the environment for that. Um, and let's see what else. I did like a lot of prop stuff and like background things. Um, I was at Weta Digital in New Zealand. Yeah, I was there for a few years. I worked on that. Worked on like Fantastic Four, Day There Stood Still, a little bit of Tintin, like previous stuff. What else? Which Fantastic Four? Silver Surfer, I think. I don't know. The one with Jessica. Well, I guess, do they all have Jessica Alba? I don't know. 2007. So I don't. I guess not. Yeah. So when I'm working on movies, traditionally when I was working on movies, I was always working at the studio that was working on them. Um, Did I eventually get into the union? What union? All right. Oh yeah, I was in the animation guild when I was at Disney and DreamWorks, but the not that one. Art Directors Guild, I think, is I don't know. That's like a special thing. Let's fix these eyeballs. Art Directors Guild is a union, yeah. And so is the Animation Guild. Prop designers. So when you mean prop designer, are you thinking like you want to make assets like Turbo Squid type stuff, or like you want to be a environment artist that does like props, I guess. I mean, most of the studios that I've worked at, I've always sort of combined props and environments into sort of one pool of people, or like even more so, you'd be like hard surface and organic, uh, organic stuff. So um, So I don't think I have any actual advice other than, yeah. Any advice that I would have would just be trite at this point. So I don't know. Just keep making a bunch of stuff, man. I mean, it's all about just keep. Um, it's the same with characters, really. Just keep on making them more and more and more and more. Yeah, literally just don't stop. Yeah. If I think of any advice, I will definitely tell you. No, I mean at DreamWorks you use ZBrush and Maya. Um, like before that, it's like a lot of the studios just let you use whatever you want. So I think that just the culture of games is like I grew up playing games, so I have like a special place in my heart for games. So I think that's what it mainly is. Um, but I love film too, so I'm always kind of torn between the two. I think when I first went to school, I wanted to work on games, and then I got a job in film, and then my friend, he wanted to work on film and he got a job in games. So that's that story. Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. Well, likenesses, in my opinion, are a weird blend between like science and art. Because you're doing a person and you have to make it look like them and you have to interpret between a lot of different photos. Um, it's uh, it's kind of like a tracing and then interpreting shapes. People like are very far from being symmetrical. So I think I think trying to stay the closer you can get to them, their likeness, in a low res sculpture, like kind of what I'm doing, where you can still see a lot of the polygons. I think it does a lot to help you get closer um, in the final result. Um, and you just have to keep working the shapes, and then doing alignment guides. So pretty much at the end of a sculpting day, I'll take all the photo ref I have that is good, and I'll try to get like a side, quarters, and a front, and do like a really quick alignment and draw lines across them. And then I'll take my 3D model and I'll lay that on top. In Photoshop, I'll put my picture of my model there, and I'll see like how far off my lines are. Like, do the lip lines horizontal line up? So doing vertical and horizontal alignments, this way and this way, um, can really like tune a face um, to get someone's likeness. So the real issue with doing likenesses from like internet reference is that every single photograph is a different camera angle. Um, so like you can't really overlay it. Yeah, you could do spotlight if you can bring in the image and then put it in here. But I don't use spotlight like that usually because I want my model, um, like I'll match like an angle, and then I need to have like the lines over the top, and then being able to adjust it. I find doing it like with the see-through of the ZBrush see-through. I'll bring in, I'll have like my Photoshop with the picture with the lines, and then I'll have the lines going off like into a black border like this, and then those lines I'll have behind my ZBrush, um, and then I'll be able to like fine tune the angle. And if I have to redraw the lines in Photoshop, I will. Um, it just allows for me to have a little bit more flexibility in using Photoshop lines and drawing the lines in Photoshop. Um, that's all. That's just my workflow. Kind of works sometimes. Probably next stream I'll do that. I'll show you guys how I do my alignments. Um, Oops. Come on. Dude, I spend sometimes like a year working on a model, to be honest. I don't really have like a timeline for a lot of my stuff. Sometimes it drives me so crazy that I gotta stop working on it. Um, so I rarely finish anything in a day, actually. I don't think unless it's like a production thing. Um, I guess I really have like a messed up schedule of what I consider something being finished. Because I tend not to like the things that I make, so. And I want to get it better and fix it, so it's kind of like this rabbit hole. Yeah. And the closer you can make the sculpture look like the person, the better the final piece will look with the texture on it. I've seen a lot of people do like sculpture like renders, and they use like the texture of the actor, and they put it on, and it looks pretty good. And then you see them like show like a gray version of it, and you could see that the model is actually really far off from being like a close likeness in like gray uh, in like gray shaded mode or what have you. And that's I don't know, just something I noticed is pretty common. Wow, they really like made her nose straight in this photo. Gotta be careful with Photoshop too. I like uh, I like sculpting lips a lot. It's like one of my favorite things to do. So when I'm looking at my model, I'm looking at like the way the cheek um, like silhouette is from the different angles. Just trying to follow like the shape lines. Sometimes you have to get like aggressive and cut away mass to like reform the shape so that she has like this flat spot right here. Yeah, yeah, cheekbones need to be much higher. She almost has like no cheeks right now. And like the way her orbital transitions into her face is wrong too. Interesting thing with doing like people's faces is like so many elements of the face like intertwine with other parts. So I rarely find like it's a simple movement of like one thing being the describing factor, like moving something higher or lower has like repercussions across like so many other things. Like you move your cheekbones, you might have to look and like move your eyes now, or your eyes might be too low, not your cheekbones. So so there's a with likenesses, there's so many back and forth, so much back and forth. Like it's really frustrating actually. I have like a really big love-hate with doing likenesses. Yeah, I think so too. And that's actually the thing, like, so a short nose is very indicative of a younger person. Um, and so like when I was doing my alignments earlier, I was probably grabbing like a photo of her when she was younger. Or like you look at it from one angle, she has like no philtrum, and then you look at it on this one and then she has like a pretty distinct one. Her nostrils are too small. Hey, thanks for coming. Yeah, I'll be working close to getting her likeness. definitely hitting the limitations of holding detail with this level of dynamis. So, alrighty, let's see. All right. What? Can't go back in time any more than that. Well, that's what I did today. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me today. I gotta go do some other stuff. But I gotta say thank you guys so much for joining me for my first stream on the Pixelogic Twitch channel. Um, yeah, big thank you. If you guys wanted to see like other artwork I do, you could follow me anywhere at Poly Sculpture. Um, and I'll be back next Friday to continue doing this bust. I'll probably work on it a little bit more off stream, probably dialing in a couple things. But we'll be doing hair, blocking in hair and cloth next week in ZBrush. And probably starting to do like secondary level of detail. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you guys already are not subscribed. Yeah, next Friday, starting at noon Pacific Daylight Standard Super Time. And yeah, it'll be fun. I'm glad to be sculpting again too, because I feel a bit rusty, so feels good. And appreciate the questions, and yeah, have a good one, and have a good weekend too, everyone. Stay happy.